My name is my name is Paul K. Lemire, and this is your city, your voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls. Oh, and I'm just getting all systems going here. I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do the other thing. I mean, there's a lot to do before you get everything going here, but we are here. It's Manic Monday, and we're ready to go with some crazy, crazy stuff over the weekend. And we are in Monday, June 17th already. Can you imagine? Monday, June 17th. And we're a couple of weeks and we're out of June and in July. Another month after that, we're in September. And guess what? We're back in winter. It doesn't seem possible because everything's gone so fast. And it's supposed to be hot this week, super hot this week. So, it's crazy. It's crazy the way time flies. So before we do anything, let's do our housekeeping. We always have housekeeping to do, right? You know that. So we're going to talk about our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop and Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. Now, look, we're going to have 80-degree weather all week here. It's supposed to be real slobber knocker hot. And we want to make sure that your air conditioning is working in your car. You want to make sure that's working. You want to make sure you have an oil change. You want to make sure your brakes are good because you know what's going to happen. The kids are going to get out of school and they're going to want to go on vacation. They're going to want to go somewhere. You're going to be spending more time on the road. Of course, that's what summer does. And you want your car to be running right. You do not want to break down with kids in the car. If you have any hair left, you'll be pulling it out. Go see Ken Hunter at Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. He'll throw your car on his diagnostic equipment. He's going to tell you what's wrong with your car, if anything. He's going to check your brakes, check all systems, and make sure that you're all set for a happy summer of driving. Don't wait. Be proactive. Don't be reactive. Get it done now. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. And if you get in a collision, hey, go see him. He has a full body shop with all licensed mechanics in there and body parts and everything else. He's going to fix your car shiny and new. Go down and see him. Oakwood Drive next to the Kia dealership, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. So, what do we got to say here? I don't know. This weather kills me. I get outside. There's still white things floating around and stuff cruising around in the air, and I start getting the hums and my eyes start going and everything. It's crazy. It's crazy. Have a little sippy poo, and then we're going to talk about this heat warnings and all these climate change kooks that are running around taking your money because they figure somehow giving politicians trillions of dollars, these politicians are going to be able to cure the globe, cure the earth, bring it back from disaster. Al Gore told us in 1980, in 10 years, we'd be underwater. And we're not. It's all a bunch of baloney. So they're yelling now, this week's supposed to be really hot. So they're calling it a heat wave, devastating heat wave. It's summer. It gets hot. That's what happens in summer around here. In winter, it gets cold. In summer, it gets hot. It's nothing to do with climate change or global warming. Here's the difference between when we were kids. Yeah, it got hot then too, maybe even hotter. And today, the scammers take a normal 80-degree day and they turn it to an Armageddon to prove their point. All the people on TV, you see these weather maps, 80 degrees, big, all red, heat warning, heat warning. They use these psychological weapons to make you really believe that Armageddon's here. And then if you don't get to a cooling center or do something like that, you're gonna end up in bad shape and you're probably gonna die. So this is what they do. They use psychological stuff to do you. That weather map that used to be like, have yellow for hot. We have a little bit of heat coming in. Now it's red. Now it's red to prove. That red proves it's big trouble. And if you look in the history books, you'll see these temperatures are not that unusual for this time of year. No. This is what we get. Go to your nearest cooling center. Dun, da, da. We used to call the cooling center a nice shady tree, right? But no. Now they have cooling centers. Cooling centers. My grandmother was 100 years old. She lived in a house and she never had any cooling center. She opened the windows, let a nice breeze through. I'm telling you, it's just crazy. And there's no time that's safe for you. I mean, in the summer, we have heat waves. In the winter, we have killer blizzards. Yeah, it's never good for you. Never good for you. There's always something going on. You're going to be flooded. You're going to be earthquaked. You're going to be whatever else they have: typhoons, tornadoes, hurricanes, cyclones. It doesn't matter. There's always something. Just don't let these wackos, these left wing wackos, take it away. When we were kids, our parents told us, get out of the house, get outside and play. And in this kind of weather, we were more than happy to oblige. We went out and we played in the park and sat under trees and took water with us or whatever, right? Had a water on the garden hose, usually, now garden hoses are going to kill you. You can't drink out of a garden hose anymore. They'll kill you. When we were kids, none of that stuff killed us. Steel dashboards on cars. No, they didn't kill us. They didn't kill us. Riding in the back of the pickup truck. No, that didn't kill us. I mean, today's just ridiculous. And don't let these guys ruin your summer. Get out there and enjoy it. Get in some shade. Get a nice shady tree and some grass. You can go down by the Niagara River. We're lucky here. We got the river right here. You can go sit by there, enjoy the breeze. It's a little bit cooler by the water. Yeah, don't let them ruin your summer, these people. They're wackos. Okay, so enough of the wackos. We see them all the time, and they grab our money, and they think that somehow using our money they're gonna fix the earth. It's been around for billions of years, and with humans and without humans, it manages to do quite well with us humans. We'll be gone long before the earth will be gone, so don't worry about it. Enjoy it while you're here. Let's go over to the NHL playoffs for a minute. Man, I'll tell you, that game on Saturday night, I don't know about anybody else. I don't know about anybody else. But if there ever was a fixed game, that was it. That's got to be the granddaddy of all fixed games. I've seen boxers take dives. I've seen all kinds of stuff, but this is the granddaddy of all. Let's see. A team that hasn't allowed any goals, they allowed like 4 goals in 3 games, right? You know, 4 goals in 3 games, and a goaltender that has barely allowed 8 goals in all the playoffs. Never mind this series. The most likely Conn Smythe winner is going to be Bobrovsky. All of a sudden, he forgets how to play hockey. He couldn't stop a beach ball. Everything they shot was going in. Guy skated around and did all this dipsy. All of a sudden, he forgot. I'm an NHL goaltender. Right? This isn't a beer league. What, he forgot who he was and how to play. And then the whole team forgot how to play hockey. Yep, they stepped on the ice and forgot how to play hockey. They just didn't have a clue as how this game works and what they're supposed to be doing. And the coach, one of the best coaches in the NHL, forgot how to coach. Not only did the goaltender forget how to play hockey and the team forget how to play hockey, the coach forgot how to coach them. Listen, I was born at night, but not last night. And anybody who thinks that this wasn't rigged, they got to take another look at the game. I mean, if the Cats want to throw a game to go home and win the cup, at least make it an effort to cover it up. Why not? Why not just say, listen here, we're going to give you a win in the series so we don't sweep you, and then we're going back home. We're going to forfeit the game. We're leaving town. Give you a game. We'll see you in Florida so we can win the cup on home ice. Why don't they just say that rather than trying to pull this farce? I laughed my head off. I turned it off. I turned it off when it was 3-1 for him. And I said, this I know what's going to happen here. This is not even going to be. It's going to be a goofy game. These guys aren't even playing up to what they can play, and they're just fooling around. So anyway, if anybody thinks that the Edmonton Oilers are going to pull off like a 1947 or 1944 Toronto Maple Leaf victory coming back from the dead, no, they're not going to. This is their last game. Will be tomorrow night. I think it's tomorrow night they play. Or is it tonight? Maybe it's, I don't know, let's see, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Probably tomorrow night. Usually 3 games because they have to travel so far. If they think they're going to pull, they're lacking oxygen. They're lacking oxygen. The Rats are going to be flying on the ice after 60 minutes, and it's over, Rover. It's over, Rover in Florida, and that's that. So I don't know about you guys, but man, oh man, the fix was in. I'd never seen it so bad. Well, let's take a flyover. I'm going to be all over the place today talking about everything. I don't care. I'm talking about everything. Let's take a flyover to Niagara on the Lake. Beautiful Niagara on the Lake. Lovely Niagara on the Lake. Don't we love Niagara on the Lake? What a beautiful little quaint town. I mean, it's actually clean, I think, down there. It's the clean and bright older brother of Niagara Falls, I guess. That's what we would call it. Well, City Council rejected a high-rise development slated for the White Oaks facility. Now, I know, isn't that St. Catharines? No, by some fluke, that area of St. Catharines, what we used to call it. I mean, they even called the racetrack there St. Catharines Raceway, Garden City Raceway, Garden City of St. Catharines. Somehow it's Niagara Lake. I don't know why. But they rejected a development. When have we ever heard that in Niagara Falls? They rejected a development. Geez, we had our chance a few weeks ago to reject the development down in Lions Creek and the Welland River there. And what they did is they deferred it. They couldn't make a decision. That's our council. These guys rejected it. 800 unit development, including a 17 to 21 story building, rejected. Council sided with the 640 people that signed a petition saying that a height limit of only 16 stories was set in 2010, and that height limits within the boundaries of Niagara District Airport allow for 5 to 6 stories only. So, no, they can't build these 17 to 21s. Anything that exceeds the height near the airport has to be approved by Transport Canada. And that makes sense. I mean, you don't want low flying planes coming in clipping buildings, right? Now, many residents argued that these kind of developments would be detrimental to their community. And if you've been to Niagara Lake and see how beautiful it is, I agree. Keep it like it is. Don't end up like Niagara Falls. I mean, the charm of the whole town depends on its low-rise skyline. You don't need these big, giant buildings sticking out. But a motion to keep the buildings at 16 stories was tabled. That was rejected by council. Then council rejected the whole bill. See you later, which planning staff recommended they support, of course, with staff's approval. It's going to be a case of going to the OLT, Ontario Land Tribunal, to argue the case, and they're probably going to lose. I mean, if staff recommended approving it, it's pretty hard to go there with this approval and say, well, we don't want it. Well, it fits with everything. Staff approved it. That's like a big deal. But at least council took a stand on this one. I got to give them credit. They took a stand. They said no. They want to do what's best for their constituents and the taxpayers and the voters. And they sided with them. Now the process will play out with Transport Canada and the OLT. Have to stay in tune this one. But kudos to City Council for not liking it and listening to the taxpayers and the voters keep their town quaint. So, what do we have? Last weekend was Rib Fest. Did you guys go? I never went. I imagine there were large crowds, though, in attendance. I haven't read a lot about it yet. We'll probably get a story sometime today, but the weekend was perfect. It wasn't too hot, wasn't raining, just beautiful weather for the weekend. On Father's Day, what a great place to take your father down for some ribs and music and a car show and everything else. So, yeah, congratulations to the Rotary Club. They put on a really good event. Tanya Hartford was in talking about it, and they probably did very good this weekend. The Rotary Club's involved, and all the volunteers, a big kudos to you. Congratulations. It takes a lot of people to make it all work. And, of course, Tanya Hartford was seemingly the marketing person who kind of spearheaded it. She's right front and center all the time. Now, for anyone interested, the council agenda is out for tomorrow. It's available at niagarafalls.ca. So basically, check it out, see what your council will be tackling at Tuesday's meeting. It's a pretty long agenda. There's a lot going on. I think I saw an in-camera meeting. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Usually there is, though. I mean, you can almost put money on that. A lot of top secret stuff going on in Niagara Falls. But yeah, it's on the agenda's on niagarafalls.ca. Go in, check it out. I've been through it. We'll be here with Wheels tomorrow, Dave Wheeler, to talk about it. And there's some points that I have to make. And, we'll be talking a little bit about budget tomorrow, too, even though it's not on the agenda. There's some items there that sit there and make you go, Hmm. I thought we didn't have any money. They raised our taxes 4% because we didn't have enough money. Where are they getting all this money to do these things? We'll talk about it tomorrow. Oh, geez. Now more common sense from the city council. Are things changing? Are we seeing some change? Now in St. Catharines, they've banned unsolicited newspapers and papers from being tossed on driveways. Yeah, you wake up in the morning and there's this plastic bag on you right in the middle of your driveway. Many times it's in the middle of your front lawn, and you got to run out there and get it because it looks like hell. People tossing junk on your driveway. Well, they've outlawed them, and then the worst is when they toss it and it's covered in snow and you hit it with the snowblower. Isn't that a treat? Oh boy, oh boy. Well, they've banned all that crap. That's right, no more. They adopted a new handbill bylaw that prohibits printed materials that residents didn't request being dumped in your driveway. The guys that just drive by and whip the paper, those guys? Yeah, well, they can't do that anymore. And I hate it when it's like that kind of thing. Like, we're gonna throw it in your driveway unless you call us. No, no, don't throw it in my driveway unless I call you. If I want it, I'll call you and say I want it. But they work the other way. Now, the bylaw requires all this to be placed in your mailbox. If they want to deliver it, it's got to go in the mailbox or another receptacle that's made for that. And that's fantastic. Maybe we'll see paper boys back. Everybody was a paper boy when they were a kid, weren't they? I mean, I wasn't, but my friend was. And when he was on vacation with his family, I took it over and did it for a few days or a week or whatever. Yeah, paper boy. Everybody was a paper boy. And it was a little bit of extra spending money for the kids. They didn't make a lot, but hey, listen, back in the day when you could buy a bag of candy this big that would rot your teeth, for like 25 cents a quarter, if you got $2 or $3, that was a lot of money back then, right? Now, one note: if you want these papers, but you have to call. Like I said, you got to call and say you want them. Other exempt materials would be those thrown in the public interest by government agencies. I don't know what the hell government agencies would be throwing at you in your driveway. What are they going to throw? Candidates during elections. Well, you know what? I can't imagine a candidate throwing the crap in my driveway because you know what? That would be it for them. They wouldn't get a vote. Who would vote for a moron that would just throw crap in your driveway? Flyers and stuff. Come on. I've never heard or seen that in my life. But hey, I guess they can do it before they can do it. It's okay. So, I'm so happy about this because the neighborhood looks trashy real fast because a lot of these people don't pick this crap up. They don't want it. They just leave it out there. They say, I didn't put it there. They can't walk down to the end and put it in the recycle or whatever. They just leave it. Then you get 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 papers. And then all of a sudden you got bags, ripping and water getting in them. And then they're blowing all over the place. And of course, one comes out of a bag when they throw it. And there's a little wind. Where's it go? It goes all over my yard. That's where it goes. So I'm glad. Get rid of this. Don't do it anymore. Common sense from St. Catharines City Council. Thank you very much. I hope other city councils are looking and learning from these common sense moves. Yeah, and politicians, don't throw your stuff in the driveway. Come on, come on. I've never seen it, but you never know. Who knows? We get a lot of people running, and I don't know why they're running, but they're running and they do wacky stuff. So here's another story here from Let's go over to Welland now. I'm going around the region today. If there's any wacky story, only in Welland. If there isn't news about an accident at that traffic circle, now I don't know why they put that in the first place in Welland. They're not going to be able to understand it and figure out how to use it. Every day there's an accident there now. So that's crazy. I mean, there's fights in city council, expulsions, people getting thrown out, integrity commissions, the mayor and the other guy there, DeMarco, I think his name is, coming to fisticuffs almost. They want to have a WWE match down at the waterfront there during the boat races or whatever they have. Yeah, crazy, crazy in Welland. But they had to cancel a city council meeting because nobody showed up. I I've heard of a lot of wacky stuff in my life. But you cancel a city council meeting because nobody shows up. Yep, in attendance last week were the mayor and 5 councilors. Not enough for a quorum. They need 7. Now, councilors can even attend remotely, so there's no reason for them not to be there and produce a quorum. So there's that, but I guess the rest are out of town or just absent. They just, have you ever heard of this? I never heard of this before. Why wouldn't they cancel the meeting till everybody's there? Why have a meeting if you know people aren't going to show up and you don't have a quorum? Well, obviously they didn't know. People just didn't show up. Mayor Campy in a hot head in his own right. This guy, I mean, he had to be going out of his mind. He had to be freaking out. And his nemesis DeMarco was asked why he didn't attend by the newspaper here, and he didn't respond. You know, all these articles I get are out of the Review and done by Allison Langley or Johnny Law or Ray Spiteri or one of the guys out of Welland. Great writers. You should subscribe to the Review if you want to know what's going on. That's where I get most of my information anyway. But anyway, so he had to be hot. DeMarco didn't respond. On the table were 2 important planning matters: a $4.3 million contract to secure Dane City water supply and the purchase of a $725,000 rescue truck for Welland. For the fire and emergency services. They wanted a new rescue truck, so they were going to decide on this. Now it's got to be put off. Nobody showed up. A quorum couldn't vote. And only in Welland, right? Only in Welland. And that's every time I go to Welland to read a story, there's always something wacky. Buildings collapsing, this and that, and traffic circle, the mayor, the council, and who knows what else. But there you go. There you have it. Right out of the newspaper. I don't know why these guys didn't call in and say we're not going to make it. Could you reschedule it so we can all be there and vote? Why even have it? Sitting there waiting. Are they coming? I don't hear anything. Tapping their fingers. 15 minutes. Goodbye. No meeting. So look out, all you grandparents. There's always a scammer in around. This time of year, the scammers come out of the woodwork, right? And they're always targeting, they seem to be grandma, and grandpa. So apparently people are calling grandparents and telling them their grandkids have been arrested for possession of narcotics. That's right, little Johnny, he got busted by the narcs, and he's got to pay bail, or they're going to rot in jail. Pay your bail or rot in jail. That's what they're telling them. The scammers assure the grandparents that the money will be returned by certified check once everything is figured out. Yep, they'll get their money back. Of course, they never see it again. The scammer also told the grandparents that only cash for bail is acceptable. And they were talking like 10 grand. So you got to go to the bank. You got to scoop $10,000 out and meet up with us and give us cash, and we'll get your little Johnny out of the who's got. Now, I know this sounds absurd, right? I mean, what's the first thing you would do? Call up little Johnny's parents or call up little Johnny and say, what'd you do? Are you in the slammer or what? But no, people fall for this. They also, the scammers cite a gag order. So I'm telling you, but the courts have issued a gag order on this. You can't tell anybody else for security purposes. So don't tell your son and daughter, and don't tell other kids in the family. This is between us. This is the sergeant speaking. So they can't discuss it with anybody, or they're going to go to jail. They say you could go to jail for obstruction of justice. Now, they're con men. Obviously, they're good at what they do because they do it and get away with it. So they're good. They're very good, very good. And you gotta use your common sense. But old people get afraid and everything. I mean, wouldn't little Johnny pick up the phone? He's allowed a phone call and call his parents and say, "Come and get me," or call grandpa and grandma or whatever. But no. So anyway, be careful out there. There's a scam a minute waiting out there. If there's somebody knocking on your door to put some crap on your driveway, or dig something up, or change something, or put a new furnace in, or whatever, They're all contractors that come up and down the street just looking for people to do this to. Don't be scammed. Tell them to buzz off and call the cops to get them off the street. Yeah, the best thing is tell them to buzz off. If you haven't been referred to somebody by a friend or somebody else, these guys will come to your door. Believe me, good contractors don't have time to come to your door. They're working. It's these scammers that are looking to scam people that come to your door. So be careful out there and just say no. Don't open the door. Somebody comes to your door, you don't know who they are. Don't open the door. Phone rings and you don't know who it is, hang up. Believe me, if it's important enough, if it was the police, they would call back. The scammers, they know the jig's up right as soon as you hang up on them. They're not calling back. Anyway, another day, another strike is in the air. I mean, what the hell? What country do we have here? Every day there's somebody else who wants to go on strike. Yeah, I don't get it. Do all the contracts come due at once or something? But this is a good one. And this is where I would really, really go crazy. Oh, I'd love to be the person in charge of the government right now. So we got, it never ends, right? We had Pearson Airport screening officers. Then we had the CSBA parks employees, teachers, Brock U people, and now the airport workers, they're going to go. So 2,000 screening officers are ready to strike this summer. Oh, yeah, they're going on strike. 2,000 of them going on strike. I'm getting a pencil here. Going on strike, right? And they're looking for it. So if you're traveling this summer, it could be a nightmare. They're going on strike. I mean, the lineups are a pain in the neck as it is. Imagine if they start to work to rule and go off completely. It's going to be insane, totally insane. Look at this pencil. It already broke. I just took it. Look at that. What the heck? Yep, it's going to be insane. So, of course, what do they want? Money, better working conditions, same as everybody else. Money, better money, 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 money. And in 2011, work to rule, it led to 5-hour delays in the airports, lineups, canceled flights. So it's no joke if these guys go on strike. You do not want them to go on strike. They can't. I think they can go on strike. They're not essential. But they'll just go the customs and that other airport workers. They'll just do work to rule. Be so slow like molasses. And then, of course, not to be outdone by all the other strikers, we have the Air Canada pilots who want to go on strike. Oh yeah, they're also planning to strike if their demands aren't met. The Airline Pilots Association, representing more than 5,000 Air Canada pilots, said the two sides are not even close to a deal. No, not even close. And tomorrow, June 15th, well, that was a few days ago, they were going to voluntarily leave the negotiation process and file a notice to inform the Federal Minister of Labor they have attempted to fail to reach a collective agreement and asking the minister to assign a conciliator. What's it all about, Alfie? You know the answer. Money, of course. Money, 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 money. Of course, what's the best weapon in their bag? Well, like everyone else, work to rule tactics, which they say will slow everything down. Flights won't be leaving. Now, over in the U.S., the pilots have negotiated deals with their airlines to the tune of a 30 to 40% wage increase. And I say, spaghetti-o. The Canadians have said the wage gap is unacceptable. You know what that means? I mean, to me, it's ridiculous. We're just coming off COVID. Everything we buy is so expensive these days. It's up 30% or more, depending on what you're buying. Our taxes and utilities have seen significant increases, and our interest rates have forced people to sell their house. Seniors are getting kicked in the jewels daily, and the government don't offer any help to anyone except their public service unions, paid for by the taxpayers, who cannot afford to live. Like, we just can't afford it anymore. We can't afford to pay these public service people, all these public service unions money. We don't have it. How much can they take from us? Someone has to say no. Someone has to say, no, you're not getting anything. You want to go on strike, you're all fired. You're all fired. Right? In the United States, Ronald Reagan, 1982 or 83, they went on strike. He fired them all, brought in all the people who were working in the military to do the things, never missed a flight, never crashed a plane, nothing. Everything went smooth. And that was the end of that nonsense. I mean, sometimes somebody's going to have to take the handle on this grab the bull by the horns and just say no. We always foot the bill. I mean, a lot of these public service employees are overpaid as it is. They have crazy pensions, and then they hold the taxpayers hostage. What I say, screw them. Let them go on work the rule or whatever. I'm tired of being held hostage. Fire them. Hire somebody else that wants to work. You don't want to work? Find somebody who does. And that's that. I think there's another strike coming up too. Let's see. I probably maybe wrote about it further back here. And let's see. Yeah, there's an LCBO strike coming up. I read about it today. I don't know if I wrote it down here, but it's coming up, the LCBO strike. And all the Liquor Control Board of Ontario employees, they've had enough bad working conditions and everything. They want to go on strike. And there's another group I'd say, you know what? You're fired. All of you. Close down the liquor stores. We'll move them to corner stores, give them the right to sell alcohol too. Or have private stores. Not these conglomerates that run the LCBO. They have a monopoly on pricing and everything. Heck with it. Yeah, corner stores. Hey, or private liquor stores. Hey, you can sell liquor now. Most places have it. You go over the United States, there's no Liquor Control Board of New York. No, they have private enterprise liquor stores where you go in and you can buy any booze you want, and it's like the Liquor Control Board, but not a ripoff. Private enterprise, they make money selling booze, and that's that. You have all these employees, all these management, and all levels of tiers of government running it. They do it. They're licensed, and they have the same rules as everybody else. You get caught doing something wrong, we pull your license, we give it to somebody else who we can trust. It's coming to that because we can't afford these big unions, these public service unions, and they hold everybody hostage. We're going on strike, and I mean, let's face it. During COVID, what were the only things open? The beer store and liquor store never closed. They weren't an essential service, or we didn't think so, but yet they were allowed to stay open. Because they don't want guys running around all with the DTs and getting sick because they can't get some booze, and they end up in the hospital putting more pressure on the hospital, so they left them open. But to tell you the truth, that has nothing to do with this. They go on strike, start farming it out to private people who want it. They did it with weed. They're doing it with booze. And September the 5th, I think these corner stores that can apply for a license to sell beer, wine, coolers, and that kind of thing. They gotta stop these strikes, and we're running out of money, people. We don't have money to buy stuff, and they're just giving them raises like crazy. Just raises like crazy. Coming off of COVID, nobody cares. They just want everything they want, and nobody else can have it unless you're in one of these big public service unions, and it's got to stop. Anyway, let's get to my second sponsor, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. Now, if you've ever been in a neighborhood at night, you see a house that's lit up. And Peter Dichter finally saw one that was lit up from this glowstone lighting that I was talking about. Well, guess what? You look at it and you go, that is unbelievable. And in the daytime, you go by, you don't see any lights. Where'd they come from? Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. Track lighting, outdoor track lighting. Everything they put up matches your house colors, so you don't even see them. They virtually disappear. No more climbing a ladder. No more in the winter, put your Christmas lights up. No more going out in the spring to take them down. No, you don't break your neck. You don't have to get up on a big ladder. These things are there permanently. They have a million different colors. They're all soldered and sealed against dust and water. You don't have to worry about them. You take out your phone. You wanted orange for Halloween? Go on your phone, bang, orange. And you can even preset these colors to happen on certain days, like maybe 2 weeks before Halloween. You want to turn your house orange? Put it in there. Red and green for Christmas, red and white for Canada Day, green for St. Patrick's Day, all programmable, million different colors. You can celebrate Prince's birthday with purple if you want. Unbelievable. 10-year warranty, LED lights so they don't make your hydrometer go around in circles like it's having a race to steal from your wallet. No, very, very low power. And at the end of the day, that's it. Nice and easy. You never have to go up again. Call Colin Buckborough, 289-969-1797. That's 289 969 289 969 1797. Colin Buckborough is the owner. He'll come out and give you a free quote. No problem. Come out, take a look, tell you what you need. And if you want to Griswold your house, they even have financing. So yeah, one stop, get them in there, light up your house, adds to the market value. Fantastic thing. You can go to glowstonelighting.com to check out some photo gallery of all the different houses they've done. That's glowstonelighting.com, just like it sounds, Glowstone Lighting. Check it out today and tell them Paul from Your City Your Voice sent you. Now, have you ever heard of Dr. Alan Lichtman? No, because I never did either. I never heard of this guy, but this dude has a stellar track record of predicting general election outcomes in the United States. As a matter of fact, he's correctly predicted 9 out of the last 10. And that's a cool 40-year record right there. How does he make his predictions? Well, way back in 1981, he created a formula he calls Keys to the White House, which he developed with mathematician Vladimir Kelis-Borak. And he based the analysis they do on elections all the way back to 1860, which would have been Abraham Lincoln time. Now, his preference have nothing to do with the formula. That's what he prefers. His formula just has to do with who's going to win, not his preferences. And he called the 2020 victory of Sleepy Joe Biden. And he also called the 2016 election of Donald J. Trump. So the 13 keys in the formula include party mandate, contest, incumbency, third party, short-term economy, long-term economy, policy change, social unrest, scandal, foreign military failures, foreign military successes, incumbent charisma, and challenger charisma. Although he hasn't made his final prediction yet, he did say a lot would have to go wrong for Biden to lose to Trump. Although he doesn't mention the Hunter Biden scandal, a possible Biden impeachment, Biden's overall health, or Biden's overall mental condition. Now, Biden's got 3 wars going on in the world. Biden has open borders, millions of illegal aliens and immigrants. Bidenomics is a failure. Biden possible the inability to engage Trump in 2 planned debates. One's June 27th. I'm waiting for it. And I guess that's why he hasn't made his prediction yet. There's still a lot of variables in this, especially going against Biden. So looking at the 13 points he uses, I use them. Biden loses 12 of the 13. And the only point that he can make is he's the incumbent. That's it. And in this case, it means really little as he mumbles and bumbles his way through speeches. So it's totally embarrassing. So in reality, he gets a 0, which points to a Trump landslide, which would be my prediction at this point. Thank you, Dr. Lichtman. So I don't know, Dr. Lichtman, he predicts them, but I don't know, man. He doesn't seem like he's doing a good job on this one. I can't wait till finally he makes a prediction. But he's saying right now it looks like Biden, and I'm looking the other way. I mean, I'm going, this guy's incompetent. Did you see him the other week at the G7 in Italy? He just wandered out into a field. The Italian prime minister had to go get him and bring him back. It's insanity. But hey, what do I know? I'm a Trump guy. So speaking of Creepy Joe, and we're going to go back to this Italy thing. I don't know if you saw it or not. That was a really embarrassing moment. And they're getting more frequent as of late. I mean, you can see his crash and burn here. You know, like he's mumbling, he's stumbling, he don't know where he is. he's lost wherever he is. Like he's at this Italian thing, and there's paratroopers, coming in, parachute guys, right, coming in, and one lands, and he looks at him, and then he turns around out of nowhere and just starts wandering out into the field. And he saw another guy over yonder packing his parachute, and he's headed towards him, and all the other leaders are standing watching what's going on. And the Italian Prime Minister, Gianna, I can't remember her last name, she had to go out and grab him by the elbow and bring him back. And then as soon as she got him back, everybody surrounded him so he couldn't go anywhere. And they took a big picture, right? And he had no clue. He had no clue. He's wandering, he's mumbling. I don't know how this guy can do it, and it's scary to think that a guy that has his problems is allegedly the leader of the free world. I mean, I can't even imagine him making the final show. I can't even imagine it. You wonder who I'm waving at. There's Omar out there. He goes by every day, and he's waving at me in the studio here, so I wave back at him. Yeah, he's a mess, and I don't think they can let him be president or run for president. I don't think he'll actually make it. And at the end of the day, we're going to see somebody else. I'm saying Michelle Obama, but people think I'm nuts anyway. So, yeah, Obama's husband running. So, what the hell? Okay, so finally, this EV craze is over. They only fooled us for so many years here. Now it's over. The la la land of all these climate change wackos is crashing down fast. People are catching on. First was Ford closing down I think, of the Oakville plant until 2027 because of little to no sales of their junk EV cars and trucks. And now GM is on board. They're cutting EV production as well, since nobody is interested in these useless, destructive, polluting vehicles. Oh yeah, you think these things are great? No, they're not. There's coal producing plants producing electricity to charge them up. And also, you have to dispose of those batteries full of heavy metals after. Where are you going to do them? I mean, it's great now. You have one battery here, one battery there, whatever. But when they really start, if there's zillions of them around, and these batteries are all going to fail within 10 years, what do you do with them? What do you do with them? You can't bury them. That's a no-no. So this is creating a bigger problem. Plus, these plants are puffing out smoke and steam to be able to get these cars charged. There's not enough chargers. There's not a network around. Yeah, they're just useless. If you're gonna go, you might as well buy a golf cart and just drive around sitting in a golf cart, because it's the same thing. But here's the problem: when they cut EV production, all these plants that we've paid billions of dollars into, like Stellantis and Volkswagen, and now in Fort Cobra, this Honda plant, I don't even know if that thing will ever get built. I mean, Honda is one of the leaders in hydrogen fuel cell, power. I don't even know if they're going to go through with any of this EV stuff. At the end of the day, they're going to get rid of it all probably. But we're sinking billions of dollars into it as an incentive, because our crazy governments have this mandate for climate change, and they're zipping us from all over, not just picking our pocket, at the gas stations and all this climate change stuff that they tax us on. They're picking our pockets when they give money to these big companies to develop this crap. Now, also in jeopardy, are any of, the incentives, our dollars are in jeopardy. That's what's also in jeopardy. Now, these vehicles, nobody wants them. It's clear the market has cooled and they don't want them. What's next? Well, corn Coburn, don't count your chickens before they hatch. You got that plant, but it might never go in. You might be able to kiss that goodbye for now anyway. And the future, like I say, is in hydrogen cell vehicles. That's probably what they're going to be doing. So, that's where it's going. But EVs getting crushed, and it's about time people started waking up to that these are no more clean or environmentally friendly or anything than the fuel engines that we have right now, the gas powered engines. What they're probably going to do is go to hybrids for a while. You use the power, and then it runs out, and you use gas. But at the end of the day, if they want to get rid of gas, they have to find another technology that isn't electric. They just don't have the network to be able to do it. We don't have the infrastructure to be able to do it. The grids at its max as it is. So forget about it. Goodbye. Goodbye, electric vehicles. Now, I'm reading a story about the beer store. Well, they're crying and hooping and hollering. Oh, you've had a monopoly for 100 years, beer store. Right? All the major players, Labatt's, Carling, and them all, they're all cahoots. They own the beer store. And they're not even owned by Canadian companies anymore. They're all owned by foreign companies. So really, foreign companies own our beer store. And they shut out a lot of independent brewers for a long time. And then you started having the Brick Brewing and Steam Whistle and some of the smaller ones that were a little bit bigger that were able to get in. And now it's wide open because, they're going to take it away. And they did. Now they have to compete. That's right. The monopoly is broken and it couldn't come soon enough. It was a monopoly for many years, not owned by Canadian beer companies for a long time, controlled pricing and excluded smaller brewers. These are the advantages they've had for 100 years or so. Now they have to compete. And you know what? The government says, yeah, and you also have the green light to sell lottery tickets. So they're going to be right in there with lottery tickets. Guaranteed they're going to. And the LCBO can sell them too. I mean, it's too big of a market not to take advantage of it. The beer store will have lottery tickets and they're going to be able to boost some of their earnings they're going to lose to these corner stores. But I mean, it's got to become a modern style outlet. Not the ones you see now where you got to go up to the thing and then you go, they have walk-in coolers, you go grab it. More like the liquor store model. And like any other beer store in the world, except for Ontario, it seems. You got to go in there and you got to go, I want a case of this. And they got to go back and no, it's going to be an open warehouse. You just walk in, grab your case, and it's a beautiful thing. So they've got to become modern, compete with everyone else. And overall, they're still going to be the biggest distributor in Ontario until these other big stores get it. But when the big stores get the ability to sell cases, not just six packs, and the little stores on the corner can sell beer, yeah, it'll be more convenient. And you might even see some relief as far as prices go, as these bigger outlets, say Costco, and these people have purchasing power. They might be able to make better deals and pass some sales on to the consumer. And we're not talking the same price with 3 free bottles like they run at the beer store. Oh boy, get a case of 28 for the same price as a case of 24. They give you 4 bottles of beer free. We'll get some better deals than that. It might take a while though. I mean, it's got to filter through the economy and see who buys what and if they can make deals with the brewers from that. But the government's not going to lose any money, that's for sure. They wouldn't be doing it. We know that. Now they got to compete. There you go. Good for you. Let's see if they can do it. I don't know. They got some pretty heavy contracts they got to deal with in these unions, so they might not do as good a job as they think they can do when they had the monopoly on it. So we'll see what happens. Be nice to go to the corner store, grab a 6-pack in the afternoon, or guys coming off shift work, stop at the corner store and grab some beers, and yeah, it'll be nice rather than having to go to the big grocery stores. And when Costco gets it, I guarantee you they're going to have some. It's going to be a little bit cheaper at Costco. Okay, so let's go over to the Ghetto Dome for a minute. Now we're seeing some real tentative statements from the mayor regarding them deciding not to move forward with the tennis dome. And I'm talking about the mayor of St. Catharines. They were all in favor of this St. Catharines, but you know what? The guys from the tennis dome came and said, current economic conditions create challenges like increased construction costs. Baloney. They put up a dome. They already got them. They just put ours up in February. Nothing's changed drastically in the last 3 months. So that's a bunch of baloney. And they continue on. And elevated interest rates. Rates have gone down half a point last week. So what are they talking about? What are these guys talking about? They're full of baloney, that's all. Let me translate this for you in St. Catharines. There's no interest. We are not making money. We already had a bad contract with Niagara Falls, and we don't want to take another 20-year bad contract, right? So what do? They pull out of St. Catharines. They don't want to do it anymore. Unfortunately, our council signed this last November, so we're in the and then they renewed it. They renewed it. They crossed their fingers and hope Niagara Falls Council will fall for the slick address and give them the right to keep the dome up and try to make more money on this deal all year round because they couldn't make it in the winter. They know it. That's why they didn't sign with St. Catharines. And Adam Siegel, the master manipulator, he's sitting back and laughing how easy it was to come to our council and ask for a new contract, and the mayor actually doing the selling for him, to the rest of council. Yeah, don't believe me. Just look at the video. It's all there. You'll see exactly what went down. But see, there you go. Why? Because economic conditions create challenges. So they pull out in St. Catharines, but we're stuck with ours for 20 years, and we gave them a new contract. Ladies and gentlemen, seriously, it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. We're stuck for 20 years, and it's only for a 1-year trial. Baloney. It's going to be for 20 years. That dome will be up. It'll never come down. And you know what? As it gets acid rain on it and dirt and dust and pollutants, it's going to start turning black. Now, these guys have put up a big generator in front of it, right? To run all the air conditioning and everything. It's going to be humming 24/7, 365. People who live there are going to hear this drone from this generator. And yeah, man, oh man, this is a big. I don't understand how they got it in this contract. Yep. So here we are. St. Catharines is free. They never signed the contract. They never did to them. So they got their tennis courts. They can use them the way they want. And we're left with Tennis Courts of Canada controlling taxpayer paid for courts and telling us when we can use our courts. Yep. Niagara Falls, the easiest touch in the region. Go see them. They'll fall for anything. Yeah, and you know what? Those city slickers, they tricked the hillbillies. Let's face it. They tricked them, and they fell for it. And I got to give credit to Councillor Patel and Councillor Coco. They voted against it, changing the contract, which everybody should have done. Yep, everybody should have voted against it, but no. And now we see them. They don't want to do it in St. Catharines because they can't make any money. Man, I wonder if they didn't change that contract, how long before they broke the contract and said, no, we're done. We got to get out of this contract. Maybe we could have hammered them for a couple of $100,000 to get out of the contract. No, dude, you got a 20-year contract. You put that dome up or we're going to start charging you by the day. Take it down in the spring or we're going to start charging you by the day to leave it up. Yeah, I mean, we could have. We would have had the upper hand with the contract, and they would have had to buy it out. We might have got a couple 100,000 fazools or more to let them out. Yeah, so there you go. Got to be sharp. Got to be sharp in this business. Got to be sharp with these people, right? They're sharper than we are. That's why they always win. Got to get somebody sharp. So what do we got here? Oh man, we're closing in on the hour. I'm done with everything I got to talk about. There's more stuff, but tomorrow's city council meeting, and that's going to be a big day. We're going to run it half an hour over tomorrow, probably. It's a pretty long agenda. There's lots to talk about. So we'll be yelling and screaming about that, I'm sure. But you can tune in at 4 o'clock. Now, getting into July and August, the city council meetings start at 1 in the afternoon rather than 4 o'clock because I don't know why. Because it's summer. And they want to go and barbecue at 5 o'clock with their families, I guess, which is fine. I mean, I get it. But at the end of the day, you know what? They don't finish till 9 or 10 anyway. It's crazy. But that's what they want to do. They want to have it at 1. So I think for July and August, it's 1 o'clock. the next two meetings. But this one is Friday at 4, or sorry, Tuesday tomorrow at 4. So tune in, see what your city council is doing, and if you have any questions, or you want something for me to talk about any day of the week, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can't text me or call on that phone. You can call on this phone here at 289. What the heck is it? 289-963-4311. Yeah, I think that's what it is. 289. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Let me look. I haven't said it in so long, I forget what it is. I think it's 289-296-4311. That's what it is. 289-296-4311. But yeah, you can always call on that line if you want to talk. And on my phone, you can't text me anymore because I'm using for the videos now. But that doesn't mean you can't text me a question after the fact. Now you can text me a question anytime you want. You can go on Facebook and message me. And if you have any questions, I'll put them on. I mean, I get a lot of people showing me stuff going around in the city. And I mentioned it on the air. But yeah, if you have any questions about tomorrow's city council meeting, give them to me and I'll post them to Dave and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. If you have a question about the agenda or anything, no problem. So, and even while we're doing it, if you have a comment to make, we don't like you to make a long comment on a phone call because we have to get through it and there's a lot there. But we definitely will take a question from you and thank you and get you off air and then discuss it. So anyway, yeah, just you can text me 905-353-7560 after the show, or Facebook me or message me, and I'll write it down and we'll get it on air tomorrow. So, and that's for any show. Anytime you have a question about the city or something you want to discuss, you want to hear discussed, let me know, and we'll see if we can bring it up and discuss it right on air here for you. Anyway, so that's tomorrow. Absolutely on Wednesday, we're rolling down to that draft, and oh man, we're going crazy about that. Who are we going to pick? Nobody knows. So we'll be talking about that on Wednesday. Secret Word Thursday. We'll be back this Thursday. Since last Thursday, I really didn't have a show because nothing was working. The systems were down. I had a video show, so if you want to see the show, you can go to the YouTube and watch it. We did post a video, but we couldn't post the audio. Or we did. Yeah, we posted the audio on 4680Q. That's right. You can listen to the audio. We, Julio, the wizard, he extracted the audio from that show and he actually put it on 4680Q. So if you want to hear Peter Dichter was in the studio, us talk about different subjects, yeah, go there. All the podcasts are on 4680Q because I do both. I'm doing the podcast here, recording it, and I'm also doing the live video. So, and we'll post the live video on YouTube, and it'll be on Facebook as well. Anyway, I'm out of here. Have a great day. Enjoy the beautiful weather. Don't let these climate change guys make you afraid of the heat out there. This is summer. This is what we wait all year for. We'll be wishing we had this, come January and December. So enjoy it. Get out there. Don't let these climate change wackos keep you from going outside. It's beautiful out. It's nice weather. Grab a seat. Throw it under a tree. Enjoy this beautiful weather. Have a great day. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, in the studios of 4680Q. Let's see if my remote will turn this thing off, and we're out of here. Have a good day, everybody.